Steam has one of the biggest game libraries on the planet, and buried inside it is a co-op scene so good it makes console multiplayer look like it's playing catch-up. We're talking games built from the ground up for playing together. Games where communication, coordination, and a little bit of chaos combine into some of the most fun you will ever have gaming with another person. But with thousands of titles to choose from, finding the co-op games actually worth your time and your friendship is harder than it sounds. Some of these you've heard of, some will completely surprise you. All of them are genuinely incredible experiences that are best shared with someone else. Today, we've done the digging so you don't have to. These are the best co-op games on Steam you absolutely have to play together in 2026. Grab your Game Pass and your best friend. Let's get into it.
Obsidian Entertainment took the Kid Shrunk in the Backyard movie concept and turned it into one of the most surprisingly deep co-op survival games of this generation. You are tiny. The backyard is enormous. Spiders are now nightmare creatures. Grounded has hit 20 million players, and it fully released to massive acclaim. You and 3 friends can build bases, craft gear, and discover an actual layered story hidden across the entire backyard. The spider encounters specifically, some people genuinely cannot play those sections. But with friends making you do it anyway, that's the content.
This game launched in early access in 2021 and sold 5 million copies in its first month. It's now at 12 million total, and it's still getting major content updates in 2026. Valheim is a Viking survival game with up to 10 players on a server, and what makes it special is that everything you build actually has to make structural sense. Your longhouse needs real support beams. Build it wrong and it collapses. You explore procedurally generated Norse worlds, fight mythical bosses, and slowly go from punching trees to commanding a Viking fleet. The Ashlands biome dropped in 2024, and the Deep North is still coming. If your friend group has never done a Valheim playthrough together, fix that.
This game won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and it's a game you literally cannot play alone. It Takes Two is built exclusively for 2 players, and it follows a couple on the brink of divorce who get magically turned into dolls by their daughter. The only way home is to work together. Every single chapter introduces completely new mechanics. One level you're using magnets, the next you're riding squirrels. It sold close to 27 million copies because it works for literally everyone. Couples, siblings, friends, doesn't matter. And the free Friends Pass means only one person needs to buy it. This is the starting point for anyone new to co-op gaming.
97% positive rating on Steam, over 360,000 reviews, over 10 million copies sold. Deep Rock Galactic is the most beloved co-op game on the entire platform, and it earned every bit of it. You are space dwarves. You get dropped into procedurally generated cave systems. You mine, you fight alien bugs, and you try to get out alive. The 4 classes, Driller, Scout, Gunner, Engineer, complement each other perfectly. No 2 runs are ever the same because the caves are always different. And the community? Some of the most wholesome players you'll ever meet online. Rock and Stone. If you know, you know. In February 2024, Arrowhead released a $40 third-person shooter and turned it into one of the most iconic co-op games in history. Helldivers 2 has now sold over 20 million copies worldwide and generated over $700 million in revenue. You are a soldier of Super Earth, spreading democracy across the galaxy by calling in orbital strikes, mechs, and nuclear airstrikes on alien bugs and robots. The stratagem system is what makes it special. You have to manually input codes under pressure to call in your gear, and watching someone mess that up mid-battle is priceless. It's chaotic, it's hilarious, and it never gets old.
Game of the Year 2023. But most people slapped on how insane the co-op actually is. Baldur's Gate 3 lets up to 4 players run through the entire campaign together, and every single choice you make changes the story for the whole group. One player can be sneaking through a room while another is starting a bar fight. The chaos is real. The arguments are real. There's nothing quite like watching your friend accidentally blow up an NPC who was holding information you desperately needed. This is the deepest, most ambitious RPG co-op experience ever made. Hundreds of hours of content, and no two playthroughs are even close to the same.
This isn't just a great co-op game. This is a historical moment for gaming. Monster Hunter Wilds launched in February 2025 and became the 5th highest peak player count in all of Steam history, with over 1.38 million concurrent players at once. It sold 8 million copies in its first week. You and 3 friends hunt enormous, living, breathing creatures across ecosystems that actually react to weather, time of day, and each other. The coordination required, reading monster patterns, setting traps, timing attacks together, is unlike anything else. If you want the best 4-player action RPG on Steam right now, this is it. Late 2025, this one came out of nowhere and absolutely took over Steam. Arc Raiders is an extraction shooter. You drop in with 2 friends, fight off waves of deadly robots, loot everything you can find, and try to get out alive. What makes it special is the community vibe. Instead of shooting other players on sight, most squads actually choose to work together. It's surprisingly friendly for a PvPvE game. It peaked at nearly 482,000 concurrent players and sold over 12 million copies in just 2 months. If you love the tension of games like Tarkov but hate how punishing they are, Arc Raiders is the version that actually respects your time. What if I told you the highest rated game of 2025 was a co-op only game that you literally cannot play alone? Split Fiction from Hazelight Studios launched in March 2025 and hit a Metacritic score of 91, beating Monster Hunter Wilds and every other game that year. It sold 1 million copies in its first 48 hours. You play as 2 writers trapped inside their own stories, and the game constantly switches genres on you. Sci-fi 1 minute, fantasy the next. Every level feels like a completely different game. It's got a free Friends Pass, so only one of you needs to buy it. This is what co-op games are supposed to feel like, an absolute masterpiece. This is the game that brought Monster Hunter to the mainstream. And if you're playing Wilds right now, this is where the story started. Monster Hunter World launched on PC in 2018 and became one of Capcom's best-selling games ever. You track enormous creatures across living ecosystems, study their patterns, craft gear from what you kill, and come back stronger for the next hunt. The co-op is optional. You can solo the whole thing, but hunting a monster with 3 coordinated friends who actually know their builds is one of the most satisfying experiences in gaming. World plus its Iceborne expansion is hundreds of hours of content.
This is the game that proved co-op RPGs could be just as deep as single-player ones, and then Baldur's Gate 3 built an entire philosophy on top of it. Divinity Original Sin 2 lets up to 4 players run through a massive dark fantasy RPG together, and every dialogue choice, every battle, every decision belongs to the whole group. The elemental combo system for combat is extraordinary. One player creates an oil slick, another ignites it, and suddenly everything is on fire, including sometimes your own team. It's strategic, it's deep, and it respects your intelligence. One of the finest RPGs ever made, period. There is no game on this list that creates better stories than Sea of Thieves. You are pirates. You have a ship. You sail an open world shared with other players. Everything that happens is emergent. You can't script the moment another crew boards your ship mid-treasure haul, or the sea storm that wrecks your route. Up to 4 players crew your ship together. Someone navigates, someone manages sails, someone fights, and someone is always about to fall overboard. It's gotten years of free content updates, and in 2026, it's still one of the most genuinely unpredictable multiplayer experiences you can have on PC.
This game was made by a single person over 4 years, and it sold over 30 million copies. A solo developer. One game. 30 million copies. Stardew Valley is a farming life sim, and the co-op mode lets up to 4 people share a farm. Run it together, get married, explore the mines, and rebuild the local town. It sounds relaxing, and it mostly is, but then you'll spend 40 minutes arguing whether to plant strawberries or melons, and suddenly it's very intense. The best low-pressure co-op experience on Steam. Perfect for unwinding with people you actually like.
Yes, this came out in 2011. It is still the greatest co-op puzzle game ever made. Portal 2 puts two players in a testing facility with portal guns, and the co-op campaign is completely separate from the single player, built from the ground up for two people. Every single puzzle requires you to actually think together. There's no carrying each other here. Both players have to be present and engaged. And once you finish the original campaign, the Steam Workshop has thousands of community-made puzzle chambers that keep it going indefinitely. If you've never done this co-op run with someone, nothing I say can prepare you for how good it is. The most dramatic comeback story in gaming history. No Man's Sky launched in 2016 to one of the worst receptions a big game has ever received. It's now one of the best co-op space games ever made, and every single major update has been free. You and friends explore an essentially infinite universe together, building bases on alien planets, trading resources, fighting pirates, and encountering creatures that no other player in history has ever seen. The developers at Hello Games have never stopped working on it. In 2026, this game is genuinely unrecognizable from what launched a decade ago. It's a tribute to what happens when a studio refuses to give up.